allowed to happen. Just take a look to Los Angeles.
President Trump calling out Nancy Pelosi and California Democrats for allowing the homeless crisis to reach a boiling point there. We told you about Los Angeles officials pushing Governor Newsom to declare a state of emergency. Well, the mayor of Laguna Hills, California, Don Sedgwick, joins us now. And Mayor, you say your town's doing a lot better in dealing with homelessness than L.A. What are you doing that other city officials aren't?
Well, one of the things that we do is we try to prevent it in the first place. And our schools, for example, we know that not every child is cut out for a four-year university. And so we provide meaningful options for students where they can get vocational training, they'll graduate with a marketable skill so that they can be self-reliant. And so we hope that every one of our kids that graduates comes out of it as a productive member of society and prevents their own homelessness. But there's only so much that we can do as a city when the cost of living continues to escalate due to the overwhelmingly high cost of living in California caused by the liberal policies. And, you know, it's really interesting that today the liberal policymakers in Los Angeles are complaining to the governor, wanting to make it a state of emergency because they can't build the homeless shelters. Yeah. Why? Because of the terrible, excess regulations and government bureaucracy. So they're finally realizing that it's their same policies that they put in place that cause them to not be able to make a cost-effective, timely homeless shelter. Well, those are the same policies that made many of these people homeless in the first place, that makes homes so expensive due to those same policies. Yeah.
Mayor, it's Carol Roth. One of the things with homelessness that seems to be a challenge is the disparate nature of why people are homeless. Somebody who is, let's say, a single mom who's lost a job might be different than somebody who's addicted to drugs, might be different than somebody who's struggling with mental health issues. Is the complexity of the problem part of the reason why it's so hard to get a solution done with government?
It is. We certainly need to have, as far as treating the symptoms, those who are already homeless and going beyond just the cost of living in California, which, has pushed so many of these people into homelessness. But those that are there, we need to be compassionate. We need to find a way to get them back on their feet. And there are individual problems. Half of them are overdosed on drugs. Another half, about half of them have mental health problems. And we can't give them the vocational training and the job help that they need until we can get them off of drugs, until we can get them the mental health training that they really need and deserve. So it is a case-by-case basis.
Mr. Mayor, the left should love this, right? This is an opportunity for government to step in and to create homes to help these people and to give them money and all the things that the left likes to do. I just don't understand why they're so absentee on this particular issue, because to me it's for them a layup.
Well, you're exactly right, Trish. In fact, $600 million was spent on homelessness last year by the city of Los Angeles, while homelessness just continued to escalate. And now that they're trying to build more shelters, they're realizing that they can't do it because of their own policies that they've put in place that prevents homes from being built in a timely and cost-effective way. So hopefully they'll be able to see and understand what the rest of us, regular Joe businessman and person that's a regular homeowner, has been experiencing in California for the last 20 or 30 years, while this government has gone unchecked in raising taxes on gasoline, on utilities, where the same home in California costs 40% more to build than the same home somewhere else. They need to go through and compare the differences in the permitting fees and all of the regulations in a home being built here versus elsewhere, and start to make some meaningful changes to reduce the cost of living so that that same single mom might be able to afford to live here. I've got 4 kids, and they're all graduating from college right about now, and I fear that they won't be able to live where they grew up. And it's these same policies that are in place that cause it. And they're finding out for themselves while they're trying to build these homeless shelters. Well, those policies don't just make homeless shelters more to build. They also make it so that homes are cost more to build. And to live in California is more expensive. It's not just homeless shelters.
Mayor, I want to ask you, using the word priority, here in Orlando, Florida, years ago, there was an issue. They came up with this coalition for the homeless. They made it a priority, and it's done a terrific, terrific job. These elected officials in California, do they know what their priorities are? Do they know they can be unelected? And are the people there getting a little bit fed up of them not getting the job done, especially in a strong economy? What happens if the economy goes south? It only gets worse.
in the private sector, if you don't do your job, you don't get a promotion. You know, you don't get a raise, you don't get reelected. And we need to take that same strategy as Californians to take those people out of office that aren't solving the problem. And you're right, their priorities are just out of whack. The priorities are to give out a handout and not a hand up.
Right.
And we're spending all of our money in giving away food and shelter, which is important. We need to do that. But that could go on for 30, 40 years for the same individual if we don't help that person become self-reliant. That's where we need to put our priority.
Mayor Don Sedgwick, great to have you here, Mayor. Please come back and see us again. I appreciate it. You're getting applause from our panel here. Before we head to break, let's see what's coming up on Evening Edit tonight with my friend Elizabeth McDonald. Hi, Liz.
Hey, David. This